Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon to some, and good evening, good morning to some of you around the globe. I will wait for a moment to allow Instagram to set this up and then get Alka Joshi in. All right. And yes, let's get Alka in. I can't. Hi.
Hi,
Hi, Alka. Thank you so much for joining today.
you are so very welcome, and thank you for having me. I'm just so delighted that there are all of these people in another part of the world who want to learn about the henna artist.
Yeah, and first of all, to start with, I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to be talking to you today. I have been doing author chats. This is season two. We are in the middle of season two, which is the women's edition. But this is super, super special because I hail from Jaipur. So this trilogy, the series of books, the stories are really special. And to talk to you, it's extremely special for me.
Oh, that is so great. I never thought that I would be writing a trilogy, but these characters have been living with me for so long, and it just feels like they are just a part of my family, myself. And I think about them all throughout the day. I wonder what Malik's doing right now. I wonder what Lakshmi's doing. And so, I had to write more about them because they just kept propping up
Yeah.
all the time. And now I just submitted the third novel to the publisher,
Yeah.
and that is going to be called The Perfumist of Paris, and it will be coming out in March of 2023.
Wow, we are so, so excited. We are super excited. Yes, there are our members joining and someone saying it's so exciting to see Alka Joshi. We are super thrilled. And there are lots of people waving and joining. So, just to give a quick introduction and start this, we are right in the middle of season two of live chats at OBLC as we call it. Season two is a special edition. It's a women's edition called Voices of Women because we launched it in March.
Okay.
And this, our chat with Alka Joshi is a bonus special summer bonanza episode. So, the main chat, this is for the audience who are watching and following us. The main chat with Joshi is scheduled for May 10th, the same time, 12 noon PST, 11 p.m. Oman time, 7 p.m. GMT, which will be streamed live on Facebook and YouTube of Oman Book Lovers Club and the Facebook page of Alka Joshi. Tune into the live chat to join, to ask your questions, make your comments, converse with the author, and enjoy the live conversation, which will be posted later on YouTube as well. But you can engage in the live chit chat with Alka on Tuesday, May 10th. Today is the prologue to the live chat, as we call it, a short introductory live to let the audience know what to expect on the 10th of May. So, Alka, while need no introduction, the Alka Joshi has been a rage on the Bookstagram for the past 2 years.
Oh,
But for the uninitiated, I would request you to share a little bit about who is Alka Joshi for our audience.
okay. Well, I'm going to start by telling you about this necklace I'm wearing. So I don't
Yes.
know if you can see, but this necklace has typewriter keys on it. And the typewriter keys are all, different keys from a typewriter, and some of them have little pictures in them. And they were given to me by my husband
Wow.
because I think when I started writing, he was always very proud of me and proud of what I was creating, this whole fictional world with people who felt very real. Because I think we all have aunties and uncles who are like the people in the henna artists. We
Yeah.
have all had mothers like this, and grandmothers and mother-in-laws and all of that. So it's really wonderful to be able to realize this idea of constructing a world that then gets published, and a lot of other people around the world resonate with it too. So I'll start with that because my jewelry says a lot about me. Like it is really
Yes.
kind of like a map of my life, just like Lakshmi's floor was a map of
Yes.
her life. So let's see, I am 64 years old now, and I live in the Northern California area. I live right by where the seals and the whales are all birthing right now, and so are the otters. So it's a heavenly place, you know, because we get to be with nature all the time. We have two little dogs, my husband and I, and we can walk one of them. The other one is far too old to walk anymore. So the younger one is the one that we walk with everywhere. We have wonderful neighbors, you know, just people you can rely on, and they look out for us, we look out for them, and, you know, we all hang out at each other's houses. So that's kind of my life. And I think people always want to know, do I write every day? I don't. I actually only write when I'm ready to have this entire world, this entire story that I've constructed in my head. Once it's really down pat, then I start writing about it. So I'm very different, I think, from other authors who have this discipline of writing so many hours per day, from 7 to
Yeah.
9 p.m. or 7 to 9 a.m. or whatever. So most of the time, I'm actually just thinking about it in my head and
Yeah.
writing down notes or speaking into my iPhone, you know, oh, here's an idea about what these two characters can do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then, you know, every now and then I'll write down. And then when I actually start writing, I will be very intense in my writing. I can write for 6, 8 hours a day.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. You know, I agree with what you said because authors are doing different kind of work, and your work is very different to make compared to many others because your two books are out, the third one is coming out, so it doesn't necessarily have to mean you write every day.
Right.
Also, coming back to your jewelry, I have been following you for a while, and it's so interesting. It's so much fun to see your lovely posts. Your visit to our neighbor Dubai Literature Festival just few weeks ago, I was following all of your journey, and it was so much fun. So yeah, you know, and it's very inspiring to follow your journey. You know how vivacious you are, your social media presence. It's really, really, really interesting and fun, to be honest.
Oh, I'm so glad. I hope that it provides a lot of inspiration for people, no matter what age they are, to start writing for themselves. You know, all of our stories are so unique. Each of us
Yeah,
has amazing things in our lives that we take for granted, but that will be very interesting for somebody else to know about. So I
yeah,
always encourage everybody, you know, if
yeah,
you're writing maybe a daily journal, or you're writing some kind of a memoir, or even a short story, you know, just write about some of your experiences. They are
yeah.
interesting to other people.
Yeah, and it's very rejuvenating, I think, to write in some way. Even if you're not writing a book, if you're writing for yourself, it's very rejuvenating to express your thoughts at the end of the day. I think I agree with you there a lot, hugely.
Yeah.
So, so a little bit about your books, The Henna Artist and The Secret Keeper of Jaipur. Again, for those who haven't read, our endeavor through our chats is usually, rather than the usual chats that go deeper into the story and the analysis of story, the way our chats have gone is, the pattern we follow is to try and create more awareness for people who haven't yet read. So, a little bit about the books. What
Okay.
inspired you to write this story? We
Okay.
know this started as a love letter to your mother, as you just shared with us.
Yeah.
But could you share a little bit about why, where did these stories come from, and why did you write these stories?
Well, the first character who came to me was Lakshmi, who looks just like my mother. And you can tell with my eyes that I have those kind of blue, gray, green, whatever.
Yeah,
They change color depending on what I'm wearing. My mother had those same kind of eyes. And so, you know, Lakshmi looks like my mother, but she is doing all the kinds of things that I think my mother would have liked to have done. You know, start her own business, use her skills to make sure that she could survive in this world without a husband, without children, without all of those kinds of things. You know, she just wants to prove to herself that she can make it too, especially in a world in 1955 where she doesn't
yeah,
have, where she has a lot of societal restrictions that are keeping her, you know, at bay.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
Lakshmi gets to do all of these wonderful things. And the first scene that I saw in the book was Lakshmi painting henna on the feet of Parvati. And I thought, oh, what is she doing? Why is she painting henna? And then I realized, well, you know, she came from a small village. She got married at 15. She doesn't really have any accreditation. She doesn't have any high school degree. She doesn't have a college degree. She can't
Yeah.
really even go to college. She has no sponsors, nobody to help her. So what
Yeah.
is it that she could do to earn a living? And I thought, okay, the cleanest thing she could probably do is paint, you know, mehndi on people's feet and hands and all of that, because it's so ubiquitous in our part of the world, right? In
Yes.
Asia, in Middle East, in
Yes.
Northern Africa. And so, you know, why she would have grown up knowing how to do it. And if she has any artistic skill, that's what she would be doing. So that's
Yeah.
how the first scene came to me. And then I asked myself, what are these two women wanting from each other? Why are they in this scene? Why are they showing up in my imagination? And then I realized,
Yeah.
oh, so Lakshmi wants to get some kind of a marriage commission from Parvati, and Parvati wants a very good marriage for her son, who is now 17, Ravi. And she wants Ravi to have, you know, the kind of marriage that she has had to Samir, a very, you know, sort of beneficial marriage on both sides. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of where it started. And then from there, I thought, okay, what's Lakshmi going to do next to get what she wants? And what's Parvati going to do next to get what she wants? So that's
Yeah.
how the whole thing started. It was so interesting. I thought in the beginning that Parvati was going to be the antagonist to Lakshmi's protagonist. And it turned out no, because then all of a sudden Radha showed up. And Radha is Lakshmi's younger sister. She's 13 years old at this point when we meet her. Lakshmi has never met her before. She didn't even know that her younger sister existed because she deserted her village so long ago. And
Yeah.
so, you know, all of a sudden Radha shows up. And then I realized as I kept figuring out, okay, now what does Radha want? And what does Lakshmi want for Radha? And as I got further and further into it, I realized Radha is the antagonist. It's not Parvati. It's really Radha. Her own sister presents all the
Yeah.
obstacles to Lakshmi getting what she wants in her life.
How did the story? I mean, I hear you talking, and you said that as you saw the scene, so it just came to you. So how I hear you speak. So how did this? How do you write? I mean, of course, that is a longer discussion for the main chat. But I'm very curious to ask you this right now. So the stories just come to you naturally. They keep flowing in your head.
Yeah. And also, you know, I used to be an artist, so I painted a lot. I drew.
Wow.
And so in my mind, I can draw a lot of things just in my mind. I paint pictures in my mind, and they are full of color,
Ah.
and they're full of pattern, and they're full of people moving from one place to another. And so I think that helped a lot, the fact that I'm an artist, and also
Yeah.
helps that I worked all of those years in advertising, because when we create commercials, really what are we doing?
Yes.
We're creating scenes and dialogue and characters, and you're on deadline all the time, so you have to do it very quickly. So you're constantly creating, you're constantly, you know, putting things out there for the client to look at. Oh, the client doesn't like it, you gotta revise it, revise it, revise it. And that's exactly what we have to do in writing too.
And I didn't know you were an advertising professional, because that's a completely different world altogether.
Yes.
Writing is a job for patient people who can be with themselves quietly for long. And the advertising world is completely the opposite end of the spectrum. It's just so much action. So how, what do you think about these two worlds?
Oh my gosh. I think the advertising world is very exciting because it moves so quickly, and because, you know, technology is changing all the time. So,
Yeah.
you know, now there's the digital advertising is really big, and you can do all kinds of things in digital advertising that you couldn't
Yeah.
do in TV advertising, which is when I was doing all that advertising. So I just found it really exciting. I thought it was fun. I thought it was very creative. It was great.
Yeah.
And once again, I realized that when you're a creative person, you create at all times of the day and in all circumstances. I could be in the shower and a great idea comes to me, and I
Yeah.
follow up on it. So it's very different from actually sitting down at your computer and doing work only on the computer. Maybe you're an accountant and you have to be looking at the numbers all the time in order to do
True.
your work. It's not like that for creative people. We create everywhere. So now I, follow that same pattern when I write novels. I just create everywhere.
Wow. One of our viewers, My Parallel Universe, has commented, so you wear the words literally. I think they're responding to your necklace.
Yes, I wear the
We
world
have
around my neck.
we have lovely comments from all our viewers. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining and engaging with us. So, you said you did not plan to write a trilogy. So you're the only thing that you thought about was the first book, The Hira Artist. And then how did the second book happen, The Secret Keeper of Jaipur?
Isn't it a beautiful cover? So
Yes, it is.
the second book happened because Malik would not leave me alone. So after The Henna Artist was finished and it was out the door and it was being printed, Malik started tapping my shoulder and saying, you have written so eloquently about me, but all of those passages did not make it into the first book. Because I had like hundreds of pages set aside that did not make it into the first book. I had to do so many revisions. He said, you have so much of my information, my backstory, my future story. So I really want you to write about that. It'll be so easy for you to write it because you already have it written. And so, I finally had to listen to him, even though I was working on a whole different project. I had to listen to him because he wouldn't leave me alone. So finally I thought, okay,
You personify your characters like they are real people. This is amazing to listen to you.
Yeah, they're real people, just like how Radha used to drive me crazy. When I was writing Radha in The Henna Artist, I just wanted to slap her so many times because she was so obstreperous. She was always challenging Lakshmi. And I thought, why is she being so rude? Here's Lakshmi taking care of her, paying for her and everything. And so, yes, these characters feel very real. But now in book number 3, which is called The Perfumist of Paris, and which I just sent off to the publisher, Radha is now 32.
Oh.
She is a changed person, She has learned what it is to not be as impetuous as she used to be. She is much more keeping her own counsel. She has 2 little girls. She has a family she always wanted. She married a Parisian. So they live in Paris. And she works as a perfumer. And she loves what she does because, once again, just like she used to do for Lakshmi's henna paste, all the different ingredients to make it the smoothest mehendi that she could. Now she is doing the same thing with perfume. She's combining all these different raw ingredients so that she can make the finest scent possible.
There's a comment saying, oh my God, your visualization is amazing. And there's Mil.Buzz who is commenting a lot saying, love that. I can't wait for the third book. The Perfumist of Paris sounds amazing. Can't wait. Yeah. This is so much fun.
and what's wonderful is in the third book, in every book, I'm actually trying to send out a lot of different kinds of information about India, about the people of India, about the resilience of Indians. And in the third book, what I'm really trying to say is, look, we Indians are everywhere in the diaspora, in the global diaspora. And here is this woman in 1974. Maybe you didn't know that Indians were in Paris, but they were. And it's important for us also to understand that the perfume world that she's a part of uses ingredients that are so often harvested from India, from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka. It's very important to know these kinds of things throughout the world and to have pride in how much India has contributed to the world.
I agree. But it's very fascinating, Alka. You haven't grown up in India, and to listen to you talk is, incredible. So you had been visiting a lot as you grew up, or is it a lot of research, or is it listening to stories from your elders about India?
No, the only time I visited, I was 16 when I first went back to India. We came here when I was 9 in the United States. Then I
Yes.
went back at 16, and then I didn't go back until I was 50. So yeah,
Wow.
there was a long period of time when, I mean, I was busy working, I was doing all kinds.
And you hail from Jodhpur, not Jaipur. So where does your the entire research about Jaipur comes from? It's a lot of reading, or it's a lot of storytelling from your elders, like I said.
Well, unlike a lot of other Indian families, my family moved a lot. So although we were born in Jodhpur, we also lived in Jaipur. We lived in
Of course.
Banswara. We lived in Bikaner, and then one year
Wow.
we lived up in Chandigarh because my father was
Oh,
having his first masters there. So we moved around a lot.
wow. That's lovely. That's lovely. Really, I mean, I agree with a lot of points you made there. The contribution that India and the subcontinent, I would say, not just India, has in the global diaspora is incredible and maybe not as much talked about as it could have been. Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah,
And like you said, Hina is not just an Indian concept, it's popular all across Asia.
yeah.
It's very popular in where I am at right now also. So it's the Eid holidays period,
Ah,
and Hina is everywhere. The day before Eid is a Chand Raat when everybody has Hina parties.
yeah,
So it's entire Asia that Hina has left an imprint, and it's
yeah,
there. It's everywhere.
yeah.
So yeah.
And it's a beautiful tradition. I think that it really relaxes, and
Hmm.
it allows women a chance to just sit and do nothing for a little while,
Yeah.
and to have their hands be beautiful no matter what they're doing.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
the
it's
temporary tattooing, you're decorating yourself.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so
There's
looking
somebody,
forward to talking
yeah,
to you in more
yes,
detail about all the books.
of
I can't
course. We
wait.
have a lot of questions lined up for the day, and just a little bit from you, what should the audience look forward to on 10th? What would you say?
Well, I think, look forward to how I grow these characters.
Yes,
We started in 1955 with the henna artist, but now we're up to 1974. And it's
yes,
important for me to have people understand how these characters are growing, not only emotionally, but also in their
hmm,
careers and the way that they think about everyone around them, and in the kind of family that Lakshmi has been able to develop. She came
yeah,
from no family basically,
yes,
and now she has
yes,
developed this family that keeps growing and growing. And in The Secret Keeper of Jaipur, we even had Malik marrying and having 2 children. So that's really, nice. Now she has that family. And now
yeah,
in book number 3, we have Radha's family with her 2 little girls. So
yeah, yeah,
I like the fact that she's growing this whole world of relationships that she
yeah.
really didn't have as growing up, and now it's really lovely that she has that.
Yeah.
So
A
we'll
lot
talk
of our
about that.
audience are, yes, a lot of our audience are also very excited. They're saying they have loads of questions to ask you on 10th. Just a little bit, just I'll take a moment to talk about Oman Book Lovers Club. It's a platform I created just a year ago to connect book lovers in Oman to borrow, share, exchange books. That was the initial idea, but now we do so much more with Kids Club, the adults book discussion, reading challenges, book lovers meetups, and of course, author chats. So I again repeat, we are right in the middle of season 2, women's edition, and we're really, really super thrilled to be talking to the Alka Joshi as a summer bonanza special episode. We will be having a giveaway of the second book by Alka Joshi, which will be posted by tomorrow. So for everyone, do not forget, do not miss out on participating in this giveaway. This will be open internationally, and people from across the globe are welcome to participate in this giveaway to win a copy of The Secret Keeper of Jaipur. So, thank you so much, Alka, for today, and see you all on the 10th of May at 12 noon PST. 11 p.m. Oman time, 12:30 a.m. for India, and 7 p.m. GMT.
I am so
Thank
looking
you.
forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure. Thank you. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.